Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the very last day of November 2024. It's the 30th, and it's a Saturday morning at 6:23 a.m. in beautiful QUARTZSITE, Arizona, La Posa South, in the desert, boondocking, about three and a half miles south of town. And the weather today, right now, it's 44 degrees, and be a high today of 70 under partly cloudy skies, and a low of 46. And for the next 10 days, we're bouncing between 72 and 75 as the high, and 46 and 48 for the low. Either most completely sunny or just slightly partly cloudy skies. And I checked the winds for the next 10 days, and the highest hour for winds I see is 7 miles per hour. So very mild wind conditions, perfect temperature conditions. This is a time to be in QUARTZSITE, let me tell you. So that is the weather, and we will jump into our comments. The videos today is the positive news video is on the 100th birthday of a World War II D-Day veteran in England, and the long form video is that I really like this video. I hope you like it too. It's from Thanksgiving. Two of my friends here. Barb and Cheryl. Cheryl's Pup Camper 58 on YouTube. We went with other friends. We were in separate cars because this filming happened inside the car, where we drove these 45 minutes or so, 45 or 50 minutes from here up to the Blue Water Casino in Parker to do our traditional $24.99 buffet. And my tradition is to try to gamble to make it free, and 2 years in a row now it's worked. I've eaten for free 2 years in a row, just barely. And don't think you can do that. It's just wild luck. But anyway, it is us talking inside the car, and you can also see the trip also, so I show you both. I got two cameras going, but we have some great talks about RV life and retirement, camp hosting, life on the road, and I think you'll find it to be a very interesting chat. And then I show you briefly the inside of the restaurant and what our buffet meals looked like. A place you can camp there for $15 or $10 or $15 a night, depending on where you camp. Dry camping at the casino right on the Great Colorado River. It's very nice. So let's get into the comments. And Ken Gray has Laugh Out Loud trying to release a video, and you get Dr. Tyson talking about dinosaurs. I think in a video I was... and I think my phone started playing something, and I didn't even realize what it was, and I quickly turned it off, and I'd leave it in there because I don't do editing hardly at all. And it apparently is Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about dinosaurs. So that was Ken. And CQ Arizona, wide view mount hood is really good, Rob. Enjoying your shopping trips. This is my new mount for my action camera, where I actually, with two suction cups, it goes to the hood of the car, and instead of looking through the windshield, which you can never get perfectly clear, and there's glare and all kinds of things, it's a pure view of the road. It looks really nice. Ken says, what did they do when they got back? They are driving around, an American couple and their baby on a tour of Great Britain. And that is this is the ultimate van lifers. It's a positive news story. And it's, for once, it's related to RVing, isn't it? The ultimate van lifers. These people drove around the world. No kidding. They drove around the world. And Ken watched the video, and I didn't mention it in my piece, but he said, and what did they do when they came back? They were driving around, an American couple and their baby on a tour of Great Britain. These people love to drive in their van. And it's not a terribly expensive van. It's a really interesting story. Kathy Renee said, great view with the new setup. That's the long form video was QUARTZSITE, the game store, update on Ken's grocery, and just a basic road tour around QUARTZSITE. So if you're arm sharing QUARTZSITE this year and coming next year or something like that, you watch my videos, you're not going to need a map. You'll know your way around. It's not hard. It's not complicated. It's small. Everything's kind of in one place, 2 places, 3 places. Well, it's, you know what I'm saying. Guitar Man Flyboy. I like that name, Guitar Man Flyboy. Love watching your channel. This is on QUARTZSITE LTVA conditions. What kind of drone do you have? I would love to get it. Looking forward to meeting you when I get to the queue again. I have a small female dog named Sassy. Anne-Marie Sikorsky on the QUARTZSITE Game Store update. New in Ken's Grocery. New camera setup seems excellent. Amazing what can be done. Enjoy the trip. Thank you, Rob. Those curious about Ken's Grocery, if you know what that is, it's a discount grocery store that I've been doing videos on every year for a while. And Ken owned it. And sadly, this past year, he had a stroke and he couldn't run it. So he sold it. And I went to do a video on it. And the employees were like, because I always ask, and they said, I can't make that decision. It's got to be the owner. And they couldn't reach the owner, and I wouldn't expect them to because they were busy. So they said, come back Saturday. They're going to be in Saturday. So I'm going to come back today and ask for permission to film the new setup. But I could see sort of in there through the door, it looks pretty much the same, obviously. There's not a lot different you could do. But it's discount groceries, pallets of stuff. Virginia, I like the new setup, and that's I look forward to each day's new video. You're chatting with a friend. See you tomorrow. And the new setup, also in that video, I did the camera outside the vehicle. So it's a much clearer picture, and I think you guys deserve it. You guys deserve a nice, crisp, clear, high definition picture. I don't know if it's high definition because I do it all at 1080p. I know I could do it 4K, but guys, I'm sorry I don't. It just takes too long to upload, download, all that. Every once in a while, I'll do something in 4K just because I think it looks pretty spectacular, but usually 1080p. If that's gobbledygook for you, it just means the quality is sort of made for typical YouTube, and I could do it at a higher quality. The files are bigger. The picture's a little sharper. Wendy Sosa, footage is great, very clear and smooth. I enjoy all of your little daily errands around town. Good, because that's what most of my videos are. I don't do terribly exciting things. If you haven't noticed, I don't go take you with me to go bungee jumping. That's not this channel. I've never been to QUARTZSITE, but when I do get there, bucket list, it's on our bucket list. I feel like I know my way around thanks to you. Well, I'm glad I can help, Wendy. Gary Lee McDonald, definitely Uptown looks great. I've seen GoPros mounted for this view. Yeah, it's a GoPro-like camera, but it's a DJI Action 5, and I have mothballed my GoPro. I think GoPro 10, it's mothballed because this Action 5 is way better. I mean, in so many different ways. So on this video, the QUARTZSITE Game Store, etc. We're just going to call it the QUARTZSITE Game Store, but it's a Game Store update on Ken's and the Q Road Tour. We'll call it the Game Store because I do go into the Game Store and show you that. And to me, that's an iconic place in QUARTZSITE. Nancy says, so you still got to get Dottie's dog fixins. Well, what she's talking about is at the beginning of the video said, I'm headed into town because Dottie's going to run out of dog food and I need to buy fixins to cook her dog food today. And on the way, I'm going to show you other places. Well, she noticed in the video, because, I don't do big edits in the video, obviously. She's like, you didn't get Dottie's food. She said, so you still got to get Dottie's food fixings. Well, what you didn't see on camera is I closed everything out in town and I drove back and I'm just pulling up to camp and I realized I didn't go to the grocery store and I had to turn around, go all the way back to town and I bought 5 pounds of 90% lean ground, I think ground chuck, 90% ground chuck at Coyote. and it was like $650 or $675. I can't remember which, but a decent price. So I like $32 for $32.50 for 5 pounds. And I successfully cooked it all, mixed in the vegetables, cooked it all, vacuum sealed it, and froze a bunch. All right. RV Life said on that same video, looks great. And I just said thank you. And I do thank you, RV Life 289. Lacamas Prairie. I like the new view. That means the outside view. Everybody seems to like that. Virginia, the Campulence Man opens his videos with "Hi everyone." I used to think it was "Hi everybody." Me too. She got me. He says "Hi everyone," and it's a really cool little idea that it's just as he says "Hi," the word "Hi" comes across the screen. When he says "everyone," it comes across the screen. It's a very like Comic Sans font, and he does it every opening, and that's his opening. And I don't have an opening, and I would love that, but that's just, I mean, "Hi everybody," or "Hey everybody," "Hello viewers." That would just be too direct a copy of what someone's doing. I felt these videos, I felt funny about starting them because Rusty, all right, I need to give him right credit. He has a name that has 5 numbers in it, and I can never ever remember the numbers. So, but when I quote him and talk about his influence, I'd like to, it's Rusty 78609, and I'm sure it's a zip code of some place he's lived. But someone told me, hey, you should do what Rusty does, do a daily comment show. And I hesitated a little just to directly copy another YouTuber like that. And then I searched and I found out he's not the only one. That not lots, but many YouTubers do it. So I felt better. But to copy David's Campulence Man's, no, not good, no. But hats off to Campulence Man, and hats off to Rusty 78609. If you like this my kind of content, you're gonna Rusty has a little bit different style, but basically the content is the same. He's got his daily comment video. He does a lot of driving videos. He doesn't like go to places and bungee jump and show you his action. He's pretty entertaining because he changes gears more often than a Ferrari. I mean, he moves from place to place and goes from rig to rig to rig. I mean, it's very entertaining. It's like, and he calls himself Fickle Man because he knows people are going to tease him about constantly changing his mind. The latest one is he bought this place in Texas. It was like a manufactured home, got a really good price on it, near a golf course, great location. And he was going on and on for like 2 or 3 weeks about how perfect it was for him. He just loved it. He just loved everything about it. And he was so enthusiastic. Then he sold it. He sold it and moved out. It was so great. He's never ending surprises. These amazing places. Oh, that's a good name. On my comments video said the name Black refers to the day that many businesses go from red to black or debt to profit on their books. I have a comment about that. I have 2 comments. One is that I deleted someone that said, "So are you saying it's racist?" It's like, that's ridiculous. Of course not. I'm not saying it's racist. I'm saying the day after Thanksgiving, naming the day after Black Friday is sort of a downer. Any black is associated with dark and depression, and it's associated not with happy, cheery emotions. That word. That's all I was saying. And I had heard this explanation, and I think it's totally false because I used to work in retail. I was an executive with Neiman Marcus stores for 8 years. And before that, I was with if you are around California and you're my age, you'll remember the Broadway department stores. I worked for them for several years, and I worked for Kay Jewelers. I worked for lots of big retailers, and we did not go into the black on Black Friday. We were in the black. We were profitable in the summer, in the spring. Big sales happened between Thanksgiving and Christmas, but it wasn't that you go from red to black. I mean, there probably maybe small businesses out there that really specialize in Christmas stuff, like a Christmas supply store. Probably that happens, but not a regular retailer. It's not really a reasonable thing. That was these amazing places, and on the Ultimate Van Lifers, Rose says, that is very impressive. Yeah. On the comment video, RV Life said, Ted Lasso was amazing. Sorry it ended. I'll look for that video. It's a Ted Lasso video that I did. Robert Edwards wants to know, is there a place in QUARTZSITE that sells game cameras? I've been wanting to get one. And I said, I doubt it. It may be, but I really doubt it. I can't think of a place that would be a likely candidate for that. I would just go online. Mine cost me, and I will warn you, the one I bought, I'm not going to put, because the first one just crapped out in 24 hours and they had to send me a second one. But, the cost was not much. Let's see. And you can find various brands. So just search for game camera, online. Let's see. It cost me, there's a Cyber Monday deal on it, $43.65 plus 10% off of that, so about $40 for a game camera. The second one they sent me, and it was a minor annoyance, because they send you a new one right away, and you just take the old one, put it inside the new packaging, bring it to Moon Mountain, send them an email with the label from Amazon, and it's done. And I got my new one, and it's been working fine. But buy one online. And don't spend unless you're like really serious about it, don't spend a lot of money on one. Angel Ann, good morning, Robin, Miss Dottie. May your day be awesome with work and you doing you. I bet she's a Rusty fan. I'm going to bet she's a Rusty fan too, because Rusty's usual response to people's criticisms or suggestions is, hey, that's great. You do you, I'll do me. I think that's a good thing. Bringing blessings along your way. I heard from a Dr. Deb at Incredible Tiny Home channel that if you use something bitter on your tongue before eating to get acid started, you would not have it coming back up. The reason it is, you don't have enough. The reason it's doing it, you don't have enough acid. She's really good at nature's ways and healthy. She's been to school. She came back for school for parents' health. On meds are bad for them. Now she has healthy parents. Her ways and story is on Randy's podcast. Check it out. I have found ways naturally, and it works. I'd love to be able to go where she is and visit with her. Nice lady. Hope you're not minding me mentioning this. I just thought I would help those doing the baking soda. Hugs and lots of love from Cockatoo Angel, North Carolina. I don't mind. What the couple that I do mind is you telling me, I mentioned, I think, medical things and medications I'm taking, those are things that just work for me. I'm not recommending that anyone do anything that I'm doing at all. I'm just sharing my experience, and that prompts other people to share their experience, so people can choose from a wide variety of suggestions. Just the ones that definitely say you're doing it wrong and you must do this, and it's like, I'm not a big fan of that. But she didn't. She was like, this is her experience, and she said, this is what I'm doing, this is where I find it, go check it out. Very pleasant, very nice. Thank you, Angel. Alan says, I think you may talk to yourself even when not recording. It's probably true. At least the old and Dottie can make extra money on top of their pension by recording it. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's kind of like I record. record myself talking to myself. I think what he's referring to, and I probably mentioned, I often do when I'm going through a store, like the game store. I always say, people are kind of looking at me like, what's this? Because I usually have a black or navy blue t-shirt on, and the camera is black and hangs around my neck, and there are no lights on it, so people don't really notice that, but they notice me talking. As I'm wandering around, they're like, this guy could have a little problem. Ken says, according to Britannica, and he's talking about Black Friday, the term came into popular use in the 1960s when police officers in Philadelphia began using the phrase Black Friday to describe the chaos that resulted when large numbers of suburban tourists came into the city to begin their holiday shopping, and in some years attended the annual Army-Navy football game. The huge crowds created a headache for the police, who worked longer shifts than usual as they dealt with traffic jams, accidents, shoplifting, and other issues. It was not until the 1980s when businesses started adopting the term. That makes sense. And you see how it's kind of a negative thing. But they spun it into a positive. Language changes over time, and it's a good idea to keep up. Robert Nasser says, we use that water for washing dishes, toilets, and showers. We do not drink it. Use bottled water for coffee and drinks. Yeah, I'm just talking about the LTVA water having high saline, high salt content. I don't use it at all, but some people use it freely for washing dishes, toilet, and showers. It's certainly not dangerous to drink, especially if you don't have high blood pressure or sensitivity to salt. Then drink away. Some people like the taste of it too. Ken says about the age thing, this takes some explanation. He made a comment about he's older than the trees or something. I'm paraphrasing, and somebody said, hey, that sounds like John Denver. And he says, well, about the age thing, John Denver lyrics are, life is old, they're older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. So yes, it's similar to what my granddad used to say, but not the same. Similar. And Dan Doe says, happy Thanksgiving, Rob. You're the next channel. I can't stop watching. Great job on your informative video. Thank you very much. Thanks, Dan. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Don't stop making. Kenny Monkin says, don't stop making your videos. They're keeping me focused on what I need to get done in the next year or so. Okay. It's a deal, Kenny. Brad Pennington says, let us know the binge works. I have the same situation. Oh, okay. And I question marked, and he said, Brad said, bungee cord. Sorry, spell check. Brad, it's working great so far. I actually took some pliers when I got home and decreased the opening of the hook on the end of the bungee cord, so there's no way it's going to come off there. So the worst is if there's a catastrophic failure, it'll be dangling by the side of the car, and it won't hurt the camera. The camera's pretty tough, and even if it did, I have a replacement program that if I drop it and it breaks, I get a free replacement. I get 3 of them, I think. It's like his question was, let me know how the binge works, and I said, I haven't been on a binge in 30 years there, Brad. A Bus and PYR. I saw DG Marketable on a video. Campion's Man was told no filming. I saw that. And I was pretty obviously filming all over that store, and they didn't say anything. And let me, we always say I think Campion's Man would say the thing, we ask for permissions. Usually don't in national chain stores. Usually it's because there aren't really big decision makers working in those stores. And there's no store that I've been in, national store, has there been a prohibition, a rule against filming, and they like it. So you don't usually ask in national chain stores. Mom and pops, that's a different. The first time I went into Roadrunner or Coyote or any of the local quartzsite businesses, I ask, and sometimes it's no, and I I obey that, but we generally don't ask in the big chain stores. And DG Market, that's a chain store. I think it makes a Tommy, and I wonder if the guy that told Campulous Man no filming, I wonder if that was maybe a rogue employee. The next time I'm in, I'm going to ask an employee, is filming disallowed or is it allowed here, and see what they say. And if another person says the same thing, it's like, wow. And I'm even going to suggest to him and talk to the manager and say, look, you know, I did a video in here and I didn't ask, and I put it out, but you know, when YouTubers come in and want to film your establishment, that's only going to drive business in. It's not going to be about people saying, oh, this is what a terrible business this is. You know, some people may do that, but nobody's going to take that seriously. Tommy says, I think it makes a huge difference in quality of your filming. I might not do it every time, but definitely when going to new places in the truck for sure. You know, one of the things that's really cool about it is that the camera snaps on the outside thing. So when I get to where I'm going, I just pop it off there and pop it on my neck thing, and I'm off, and I turn to the car, I pop it back on. It's really very easy. It's a magnetic thing. Teresa Poole says, thanks for sharing. I like your channel. Have a great day. Q881, the view from the front looks good, crisp and clear. Thank you, Q. And Raymond Ward, I stopped taking dairy and breads. I don't have heartburn anymore. Another person's good experience with heartburn. Wendy, it was a fun video to watch. Good friends conversing on a little road trip with a beautiful blue sky in the background. And somehow Wendy got a sneak peek on the road trip thing that I just released. So sometimes what happens, I accidentally make it public and a few notifications go out, and I quickly switch it to unlisted, and some people get it, and you can, if they have the link, they can watch it. So Wendy, you got a preview. Rob, by the way, this video doesn't show on your regular feed. That's why it's on my regular feed now. I only found it because I went into your QUARTZSITE playlist. It says you posted it yesterday, but on my side it shows only 5 views, and mine is the first comment. That doesn't seem correct to me. Oh, so that's how you found it, Wendy. That's a little trick that I have videos that I'm a few days ahead, and I mark them not as private but unlisted. So if you go in there, you can see videos that haven't been published yet, and I don't mind that. So I'll read this person's comment without their screen name. Please don't read my name in your videos. Anyway, congrats on getting your health benefits now that you're turning 65. I just retired at 62 and also on Obamacare. I have bladder cancer I'm dealing with, so it's going to be expensive. I'm doing great, but it sucks with these high deductibles. Also concerning with the current political rooms balloon, they may kill the Affordable Care Act. I'm coming to QUARTZSITE for boondocking. I get some loose ends tied up. I can understand your concern. I'm so glad that this is the year, 10 days after the new administration takes over, I start Medicare, February 1st. So I guess that's 11 days. So I feel for you that you're having treatments, you're paying high deductibles, and now if, it sounds like you're with the Affordable Care Act, you're scared you're going to lose that. So I don't do politics at all, but my best guess is, independent of who we're talking about or what anyone thinks about the new administration, my best guess is that they will pass a different version of the Affordable Care Act, and they'll do what they determine are improvements to it. That's my guess. I don't think they're going to throw it away and have nothing. And I don't think they're going to yank insurance out from under low-income people like that. There would be too much of a backlash. But I'm out of the prediction business for government, that's for sure. Okay, Philip Williams got me my Buc-ee's in Dallas instead of Kentucky. It felt more real doing it where it started. Currently in Fort Stockton, Texas, sleeping overnight in a rest stop in I-10. 771 miles to QUARTZSITE. So that is it for today. I'm down to the wire again. I got another appointment in 6 minutes. So I got to take care of this stuff real fast. And I will be seeing you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today's videos.